Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray, and we are here to jump into the penultimate episode, episode 6 of season 1 of the Vampire Lestat, or season 3 of Interview with the Vampire, depending on what you want to call it. So last episode, we finally met Akasha. And we actually got a really, really good scene with her, several good scenes with her and Lestat. They lengthened the amount of time that Lestat was with her initially, prior to the modern day events. And so she has drunk of his blood and gave him her blood, and was in the middle of waking up, and we had this really evocative, intense scene of Sheila Atim putting on the performance of a lifetime. Loved it. Everything about it. Loved it. I'm excited. I don't think we're going to see any more of Akasha this season. I think we are, I say that. I think we are going to see her one more time, which is at the very end of the season, leading us into season 4 as a cliffhanger. And I think we're going to obviously delve deeper into Akasha during the Queen of the Damned storylines, which now I thought that we were going to get Queen of the Damned and like lead up to Queen of the Damned in season 4, and then the actual Queen of the Damned stuff kind of recontextualized and changed for season 5. But now I'm thinking we're moving that up. We still might have Queen of the Damned somehow spread across 2 seasons, but that makes sense because Queen of the Damned has a lot of characters. We gotta give ourselves room to introduce, even if we pare down to just the essential characters, we still have to give ourselves room to introduce them. We've already introduced Baby Jinx, and she wasn't even that essential in the grand scheme of things. But because we pulled Killer forward into season 1 of the show, we had to cover Baby Jinx because of the connection with Killer. So we're gonna see Baby Jinx again. Obviously, we gotta have the twins. They've hinted throughout the whole seasons to the twins, the Pandora reference. So we're gonna have Pandora. We gotta have just a number of characters, Akasha and Kill. So we got to do lead up and introductions to people, I think, across season 4. And then I think we're going to get into the meat of Akasha in season 5. Now, the real question is, what else are we going to pull forward? Because we've been hinting the whole season at Tale of the Body Thief, and we've also had a little bit of a hint of Memnock. So are we going to be bringing Tale of the Body Thief and Memnock forward to happen before Queen of the Damned? Or are we going to... Are we setting up Prince Lestat? We've also had hints of Prince Lestat last episode, the Prince Lestat trilogy. So are we pulling all of these forward and they're going to happen before Queen of the Damned? Are we going to do Queen of the Damned in season 4 and 5 and then do some kind of amalgam of Tale of the Body Thief and Memnock throughout as subplots through those, and then have the Prince Lestat trilogy cap us off after Queen of the Damned, so season 6 and 7-ish are going to be Prince Lestat trilogy? Is that what we're doing? I don't even know, but I feel like we are doing a lot this season. And I have feelings about it, and I will wait until the final episode to talk about my feelings about it. So, but I have been observing, and I have been keeping some notes throughout. But we're not here to talk about my overall feelings about the season. We're here to watch episode 6. So, episode 6 just dropped, so I'm ready to just honestly watch it. Let's get into it.
The tourist. The recluse. The rock
Me
star.
personally, I'm keeping my phone in my coffin. Sorry, I want to actually read this. Okay, Pitchfork, Montreal Gazette.
Rockstar.
Bo Ridley should spend the rest of his life in prison. He also saved us from a second album from the Vampire Lestat. Oh, that's in such poor taste. Tabloids. The nails are in the coffin should tell you everything you need to know about the music before you've even heard the first predictable notes. A cross between something. That's a crazy thing to write about somebody who's dead. What's her name? Minerva Arridge? So it's October 31st, so it's Halloween. 2025, and she gave three stars, 3 out of 5, 3 out of 10. Who knows? 3 out of 10 the way she's panning it.
The nesting dolls of identity. There is a pure obligations met. Good luck and fuck off, everyone.
Okay, we're about to leave town after.
The future. My new distraction. Who next? How?
Sorry, let me go back. I want to read his ID. Because I just saw Blackwood, and I know that that's one of the witches in one of the books.
Everyone.
Blackwood Farm, right? That's one of the book names. I love this. I love this photo that looks like a photo shoot. You walk into. I'm so sorry. Does he look like? He looks like he's shirtless too. What is this photo? Imagine being at customs and you get a passport that has. Would they even accept this photo if you're getting your ID? Why does this look like a glam shot? They did not even almost try.
Who next?
Was the coffin uncomfortable?
You don't sleep in coffins much now.
Yeah,
We should cancel.
Put in a
Cancel
wall
the
for
Not
who
the
knows
dinner,
how long.
her.
Oh, the bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It is a very bad idea.
Sorry, is he just ignoring the fact that probably his coffin trauma is because he was put in a coffin and then put in a wall? Like, Lestat, come on, man, think it through. You know that happened to Louis. You were there when it happened. Like, you were there. You know that happened to him. Not to mention you read the book, so you read it in the book, sir.
But conversely,
He has coffin trauma. Come on, man.
No good's gonna come of this. I can feel it. My uncle.
we were in a book club for a moment.
You were in a book club with Cortland Mayfair
And Merrick, too. And Mayor Nagin. And James Carville.
So this
Everybody
must
hated
be
him.
this must be stuff from Blackwood Farm, right? That was the name of the book. And possibly Merrick, that book. This is what, so they have reshuffled the two, I think it was 2 or 3. It was either 2 or 3 books that were in the main book. This is after I stopped reading, so I know nothing about the books where the Mayfairs showed up. So this must be plot that happened in those books, but those books happened way after I stopped reading, which was the Vampire Armand. So what they're saying is that all of that stuff in those 2 books happened off screen with Lestat and before Queen of the Damned in the past. I guess during the period of time, the last 3 years, or 2 years that he was in the band. So yeah, so 3 years, the last 3 years, because it's 2025 right now, end of 2025, about to go into 2026, and we know that the interview finished in 2022, so it's been about 3 years. Yes. So within those 3 years, or possibly even before, because I forgot, like, Lestat never took a dirt nap after Paris, seemingly. He just stayed in New Orleans. So it quite literally could have happened in the last 100 years since the tower, since Louis and Armand left him alone in the tower. It could have happened at any point within that time. I mean, Merrick is here, so it had to have been within the last, 20 years or so that he met Merrick. Assuming that she's anywhere from her 30s to her 40s, probably. So they have moved all of those books up to happen now before Queen of the Damned. Or maybe they are moved. Like I said, I think that they should probably move those books over to the Mayfair Witches show and actually just use them as part of their show. And then minimize Lestat in them to maybe some cameos that he's talking about. Maybe. Or are we going to have a whole season over on the Mayfair Witches show where Lestat, where Sam Reid is a guest star? Or maybe it's just an episode? Because the season 3 of Mayfair Witches is going to air after this. And I need to catch up on the first 2 seasons. I've watched the first 3 episodes of season 1 of Mayfair Witches and recorded reactions to them. I have to catch up on the rest of the season 1 and season 2 so that I can watch season 3. I don't think I'll be able to watch it as it's airing. I don't know. I actually don't know when that season 3 is going to air. I assume sometime within the next 6 months, probably. Interesting. Wow. I can't believe I paused like 7 minutes just to talk about this. Let's keep going.
It had been months since he called me in a panic, and he had done his best to stay clear of the group.
You know, we read your memoir in it. Everybody loved Tom Anderson.
The
Topeka.
racists? Of course they did. Of course they did. Like I said, I've watched the first 3 episodes of the Mayfair Witches. They asses was hella racist. Oh my God. In just the first 3 episodes.
You know, that was my line. You know, I said Topeka.
Dix probably dove in, swam the butterfly. She'll be angry.
Maybe Claudia would like a goodbye with you, too.
Dipped in the river stick. Oh, they're talking about Claudia.
Being
Oh,
right.
I do know that's the premise of Merrick. Yeah, it's like they end up hiring, or actually it's just Louis, I think. Louis ends up hiring Merrick to call forth Claudia's ghost so that he can talk with her one more time.
I don't like it.
So now they're
could
making
talk
it
about the
Lestat's
proximity of
idea?
your restaurant.
Why are we doing that? There's been a reshuffling of plot lines this season that have, you know, they've reshuffled a few like character traits and plot lines in the first 2 seasons as well. Obviously the biggest one is the merging of David and Daniel, but that doesn't matter because they merged David and Daniel into one character, and then they in this season confirmed that they've killed David off screen, but Daniel's going to fulfill David's role, which is why he is the way that he is. He's older. He's, you know, got dubious past with sexual assault. You know, that all is David. So that was the biggest one. But they also occasionally will reshuffle plot points. Like in the show, Lestat is the one that saves Louis at the trial, which the trial doesn't exist in the books in that way. So, you know, it's not a play or anything like that in the books. Claudia just gets killed, and it's from Louis' POV, so he doesn't see any of that. He just, you know, Armand gets him out of the wall and then tells him Claudia's dead, and, you know, and then he goes on a rampage and kills the rest of the vampires. But it's Armand who keeps him from being killed at the, you know, being killed when the coven comes for them. And, you know, there's a conversation between Armand and Lestat and everything like that. But either way, it's a combined effort, you know, which I guess technically it is in the show too. Like, Lestat saves him at the trial and Armand saves him from the wall. So it's a joint effort in the show as well. They reshuffled some other things too, like, you know, the black market art dealership was Armand, and millionaire stuff was Armand in the books, and they removed that from Armand and gave it to Louis in the show. And then now here, instead of it being Louis' idea, it's Lestat's idea to do this. I mean, I guess it makes sense if Lestat has this relationship with the Mayfairs that Louis doesn't. I mean, obviously he knows witches, and he knows about the Mayfair witches specifically. They both do, but Lestat has some kind of relationship with them, which again makes sense because he had several books with them in the main chronology, and therefore would know them. But I still prefer Louis being the one that, in his grief and desperation, tries to call forth Claudia. But then again, I guess they changed that too, because Claudia's turning in the books was Lestat. Lestat was baby trapping Louis in the books, and so he turned, like, Louis almost kills Claudia as a human in the books, and then Lestat finds her body just before she dies and then changes her as a way to be like a living reminder of, haha, you almost killed this girl and killed her mom. I think he killed her mom too. And you know, this is proof of your savagery. And he also was baby trapping Louis. But they changed that in the show, and they made it so that Louis is the one that begged Lestat to change her. It was his idea to change her into a vampire. And Lestat just did what Louis said. I don't want to say just, but Lestat did what Louis said. So he's still her maker, but the reason why it was even an idea was because of Louis in the show. Interesting.
Maybe Claudia would like a goodbye with you, too.
Why?
So he's trying to use this
Being
as
nice.
closure.
I don't like it. Dear Lioncourt, such an honor. Mr. Blackwood. I see. Yes,
Okay.
this way,
Yeah,
please.
I truly have not read the Blackwood books. I know that there's one called Blackwood Farm, and that's it. I genuinely do not know anything about them. So this is all stuff that I have no idea about.
What did you say to him after a 77-year ghosting?
Look at Daniel with his tan line. This is so funny. So he's clearly been working with Armand off screen. Why won't they show us what the hell is going on with Armand? Why is everything that's happening with Armand this season off screen? Like, it's killing me. In the book that's like a third Armand, we have almost none of him in the series. It's killing me, you guys. Like,
I don't remember exactly.
What did he say to you?
he better be heavy in
Couldn't hear
season
anything.
4,
It was
y'all.
a hurricane.
Heavy.
Yeah, I was just pretending to understand what you said.
Same. Just did a lot of nodding.
Yes.
I'll go get off that easy.
The fog of vampiric love. Is that a thing for you, Louis? Was love the reason why you and Armand never saw any of my gotchas coming?
I tried to respect you, Daniel. I tried not to delve into your thoughts.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you respecting my privacy.
Oh, yeah, because this is after Armand was like, yo, I've been stalking you for like 50 years, and Louis knew all about it. So he's gunning. He is gunning for both of them right now. Oh, my God. Hold on,
You and
let's keep
Armand
going.
never saw any...
An amuse-bouche. Francine Lucienne Lachapelle. She is, in fact, a distant descendant of the Lioncourt line.
Sorry, are you about to drink one of your descendants? Like your family members from like one of your brothers? That's fucking weird. That's weird! Why are we doing that? That's weird. I'm so sorry. Did Louis find a descendant of his own bloodline in order to bring her here as a member of the farm that he's then going to feed to Lestat? What are we doing? What? That's weird. Is that not weird? It's very Anne Rice, though, so, you know, fair enough.
Who came to Montreal in 7.
You still fanging Sophia?
See, I knew he was gonna. He's. Dang, is about to be so fucking messy. Oh my god, he's about to be so messy. This why did Armand, I mean, I know Armand did it to just mess with him and mess up the concert. This is about to be so insane. We are 14 minutes in and I'm a half hour recording. Good lord.
Big shoulder pads.
One has to ask, what is with the...
Yeah, what's with the tan, Dan? Yeah, we all were just not going to talk about how he has a tan right now. It's crazy work. Sorry, I'm so sorry. This is... Why are you not reading his mind now? This is always the question. Why are they not trying to read minds in situations where clearly they should be reading minds? Maybe it's because it's rude to do that with another vampire unless you were, challenging them in some way.
Fog of love.
The tan of whatever you want, sweetheart.
To Daniel Malloy, our biographer, our documentarian, our shared exes, abandoned offspring, all those things at once.
Shared exes, abandoned offspring, kind of your stepson, low-key, if we're talking about it. Not him having two stepfathers. If we really want to call it that. That's funny.
Whatever you want, sweetheart.
This is a mess.
To Daniel Malloy,
The amount
our
of
biographer,
pettiness
our
that's happening in this room
documentarian,
is actually killing me.
shared exes, abandoned offspring, all those things at once.
Still lungs for you and you only.
Me, you, Antoinette.
My voice I could fuck.
I know.
Actually, that's not fair. She was a good time. And the book's prose reveled in making her smaller than she was. Justice for Antoinette.
You made her cut off a finger.
Right? Like, sir?
She thought the gift would help her grow it back. She was very impulsive.
You dangled her.
Crazy. A crazy sentence to say, sir. Like, about your mistress that you cheated on him with for like 20 years, sir. Like, oh my goodness. And even if she was delusional and she cut off her finger like that, what the hell? Also, Nikki's ghost 2 or 3 episodes ago looked you in the 2 episodes ago looked you in the eye and said she only gave you a finger. So him trying to downplay it like, oh, she did that on her own. It was just, she just thought it was grow back and it was whatever. But Ghost Nikki said she only gave you a finger, which means that she didn't just, oh, she just cut it off on her own. No, somehow you were involved in this. Like, don't lie to me, Lestat. I remember 2 episodes ago.
Justice for Antoinette.
And that was you in your
You made
subconscious
her
saying
cut
that.
off a finger.
Oh, she did that on her own.
And then to punish.
Why? I have the blood of Akashi.
No, it ain't the blood.
It's what you do with the blood.
Right? Like, let's be for real. Right? Thank you, show, for not trying to be like, oh no, it's because it's Lestat trying to be like, no, it's because I have the blood of Lakasha. No, it's his choices that you are making, sir. You need to face the fact that whatever happened with Antoinette, you led her to chop off her finger. 2 episodes ago, Nikki in your mind was looking at you, was like, she only gave you a finger. I gave you a hand, basically. Right? No, you need to face that, sir. Just like you need to face the fact that you cheated on him for 20 years and then was like punishing her, whatever. Like punishing him with it, trying to shock him out of depression by cheating on him. Sir, be serious.
To provoke you out of a depression.
Trying to what? Make him rage out and kill
And
Antoinette?
then to punish.
Why?
And then that didn't happen, so then you started punishing him by continuing the affair for another like 15 years? This woman who was a great time or whatever? Come on, man.
Blood of Akashi.
No, it ain't the blood.
Just
It's what
an
you do
asshole.
with the blood.
How I need it, just to know that you're out there pulling all you
sorry. Are they both sitting there as like, this song is about me? No. And it's a toss-up which one it's about, like, to be honest. This is a mess. Actually, I'm pretty sure. He's in his, like, I'm getting back with Louis phase, so I think this song is about him. It's about Louis. But I think it's hilarious that they both are sitting there thinking that he's talking about them because they're both his fledglings.
Show me that bitter stuff. I want it. Give me that brutal love.
It's definitely about him.
I want it.
Oh, but Gabby's sitting there thinking it's, now she's about to realize that it's definitely about Louis.
Above it.
Ooh, look at that.
Writing
Ooh,
your name in dust.
hella jelly.
As I fall. Show me that bitter stuff. I want it all. I am the meteor.
This intense connection between them is working. It's good.
Writing your name in
Jacob! Jacob is so good, you guys!
I fall.
Why is he so good? Ugh, let's refocus the season, right? Like, oh, he's so good.
You are listening to The Fail.
A great way of making more. A room with a view to watch it all from on high.
Sorry, oh God, they're about to kiss one more time. God, why do they need to kiss in every single episode? Do we need this? Is it necessary? I feel like it's not necessary. We get it. We understand. But anyway. Sorry, is she saying that in Cadiz? I don't know how she said it. There's like a bunch of vampires and they're going to be like savaging a bunch of humans and turning them into vampires all at once. Did I understand what she's saying there correctly? Why is she so gung-ho about the Great Conversion? I understand, though, you all know that I haven't read these books in a long time, like not in its entirety. And Gabby has never been one of my favorite characters. So like in the passages that I have reread, none of them have been about Gabby. So I certainly did not remember her speech on the beach from the books. Absolutely did not. But I still feel like weird that she's so gung-ho about the Great Conversion because I don't think I remember her in modern day in the books caring all that much about turning vampires, right? In the lead up to Queen of the Damned and then the events of Queen of the Damned and then post Queen of the Damned. I don't remember Gabby having this like, ooh, let's make more vampires vibe at all. Which, to be fair, that's just some shit that they're making up. The Great Conversion itself is some shit they made up for the show. So, like, that's not in the books. So, yeah, I guess they've decided to align her there based off that speech from the beach, which was from the books.
Going.
Cadi.
Oh. What's in of HBO?
Armand's in town.
I sense that.
He's going to try to disrupt things.
Oh, maybe I should bring him up on stage, put him over my knee, and give him 5 whacks for the 5 great laws.
Maybe I should
Show Alex some
avoid
affection.
an appeal.
He could use his mother.
Oh, I'm so sorry. She made Alex? Oh my God, wait. But she made Alex, which means she can't read his mind. So she has no idea that Armand has messed with his mind. And, okay, so is Alex resentful of the fact that that's his maker, but she's not paying him any attention? And that's why he's all suddenly looking at Lestat from the window, whatever, is because he knows that Sophia and Lestat have been, whatever, kissing all over the place. And he's resentful of the fact that she's not being his maker. Is that what I'm saying?
Maybe I should bring him up on stage, put him over my knee, and give him 5 whacks for the 5 great laws. Back home, Montreal.
What a mess.
Mr. Lioncourt.
So that's kind of his brother, Loki, if we want to really think about it in a certain way. his new little brother, but also his bandmate. Oof, what a weird family sitch.
I think we gotta cancel.
Sorry, what are we watching? Sorry, are we watching porn? What is happening? Why am I hearing moaning on your phone, Louis? And why is everybody really casual about that? Why is Lestat not going, what the fuck are you listening to? Sorry.
Don't forget to pack.
What is happening?
Back home, Arturo.
Absolutely.
Oh no, that's her. Oh, God, is that her making Alex? Why am I hearing more of her moans? Good Lord. I said I didn't want to hear another moan out of her until the end of this show, and they immediately hit me with more moans.
What's this?
What is this, revenge porn? What are we doing?
Well, obviously one of those.
No, honey, it's not. This is revenge porn, which is terrible. Absolutely awful. Who sent this to him? Daniel? Armand? Alex? If it's any one of them, that's Armand who's doing this. Fucking terrible.
Fakes.
Oh my God, you put that in. Daniel. Daniel's a piece of shit. He's awful. Truly awful. You put revenge porn in your documentary and then pretended like this is just regular documentary footage and not what it actually is, which is revenge porn. Oof. Oh God. That's awful. Sorry, somebody is texting me. This is terrible. Daniel's a piece of shit. Wow. That's so awful. That's actually so awful. And you know, you did this deliberately, knowing that that's him and his mother. And you're about to reveal in your in this documentary to the world that he is having sex with his mother after you tape them having sex. This is awful. This is some shit that somebody who has raped 2 people would do. They really leaned in to him being a piece of shit. Wow. Oof. Oof. Absolute trash. Absolute trash. They tripled down this season on Daniel being a piece of shit.
Documentary interview with the vampire, Lestat. And
Damn.
his girlfriend, so...
God. And then there's Armand. Jesus. And they're both out in the sun. We're all just, they're both out in the sun. What a mess. This is awful. This is truly awful. He's gonna disrupt things. He had no shit. Oh my God. Truly. Damn.
Web, it's your boy, Daniel Malloy, back with another salacious clip. Meet his girlfriend, Sophia.
I'm sorry to keep pausing, but I'm so upset about this. You guys haven't watched that because I haven't released my episodes of She-Hulk yet. But there was a whole plot line in She-Hulk with revenge porn, and it's so awful in that. I was so upset, and I'm super upset about this now, too.
In 1793, as the vampire Gabriella,
Genuinely awful.
Lestat's mother.
Looking dead in the camera. Oh my God! Armand is trash for this. This is crazy. This is awful.
Girlfriend, Sophia. So here he is, 2 months after his, quote, murder. taking a
Okay.
break from recording his posthumous album.
So not only did they expose that he's having sex with his mother, but they exposed that he's not actually dead. Which, of course, well, I mean, none of the vampires thought he was truly dead. But this is probably going to make his albums definitely tank. Because now everybody's going to be like, he's fake. He's a faker, yada, yada, yada. I can't believe he faked his death. Oh, jeez. Trash. Looking dead in the camera. They trash for this. Oh my god. They when Lestat early in the season said he seeded a hatred for him in what did he say? I seeded a hatred for me in Daniel's heart. That would bloom in the sun later, something like that. Is that what they mean? This? Oh, honey. That's awful. I guess I didn't know what they meant by that, but I guess now we know. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Daniel. But he's trash, so we knew he was going to act like trash about this.
Sasquatch studio couch.
It's not one thing, Louis. Stop the goddamn car.
No, this is awful. That was so awful. Oh my god.
Louis!
Very judgy.
Montreal? See me sing? Hey, meet my friend with ancestral benefits. This is all-time Armand level deceit.
Oh, do not walk away and say his name. Do not compare me to him.
How is this any different?
This is very different, sir. Like, let us be serious, Louis. This is a very different situation. I'm so sorry. That's not the same, Louis.
This is a century-long lie.
Wait, do I see sickness? No! I spent a month and a half dogging you back from unimaginable frenzy in the middle of my own fracturing! I offer you room.
Totally valid crash out here.
I offer you the possibility of reckoning your crippling guilt.
This is a fucking mess. That was so awful.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, that was a crazy thing to say. Sorry, that was definitely not the same as what happened with Armand. This is a mess. This is a mess.
But I could picture a larger life outside of Auvergne because of her.
The cousin just stuck his fingers in me. Also gave me $1.
Louis.
Oh, sorry. Go quiet.
Sorry, what? Did we just drop that casually? As a joke? Sorry, are we saying that Louis was molested by his cousin, who then gave him money after? What are we doing? What is this season,
until
y'all?
she came to Paris. Her blonde hair bone white, her body racked with disease.
Dead?
Matters to you?
Maybe. I don't know. I am my own zip code of mess right now. And I'm not proud of how I just was.
Yeah, the reaction was terrible. That reaction was terrible to this. Like, it's an awful situation. You just watched Armand and Daniel basically release a revenge porn video about your boyfriend and you accused him of being like Armand. That's a crazy thing to have happen, Louis. But he also was reacting emotionally to a crazy situation. But that was a messed up thing to say to Lestat. That was messed up. Yeah, what a mess. What a fucking mess.
We should cancel.
We should probably cancel.
Oh, the stuff with Merrick. Yeah.
Or
I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
Just make yourself at home.
Not them about to walk
Make
into
yourself
this
at home.
at their
This Papa
lowest.
Legbuzz make the room of Diablerie now.
Well.
Couldn't keep me on the wall. Could you, Daddy Lou?
I'm Lestat. Louis is over there.
Didn't think this through, did you?
I hope you found a bit of quiet.
I mean, the fact that she is enraged here is kind of telling you that she did not.
You back with him? That was her word. You hung it on the wall. Dress I burned.
And to honor you.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I want to be.
Hung on your wall.
Car fuel for your self-pity.
Valid. Like,
Listen to your sad sorries. I'm dead. Don't even know you.
Yeah? What about the thing you should be thanking me for?
Oh! Yeah.
he's talking about Bruce? That's a weird way to word that, Louis. Good Lord. What a fucking mess of an episode.
He thinks it meant something to hunt Bruce down. Read my little girl diary pages 7 decades late. You think I want not one, but 2 men I hate, using me as an excuse for their bullshit all cry-face. Reading my diary like it fucking happened to you. The pit of all things.
Claudia.
Burn the diaries! Burn this dress! Stop saying my name!
That was a mess. Ooh, did she jump out of the
And
circle?
you, Uncle Les.
Ooh,
Yeah.
she wasn't done. She wasn't done. She said, you both get this smoke. Like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Bring your malice.
Some joy? I know knowing is how good I humiliated you in New Orleans. How I ginned up the train for the slave here. Lestat said he'd do more.
Okay, so they're saying Claudia is proving that he never said that on the train. Got it.
Daddy Lou. Oh, where? What about Madeline? You two hug it out for her too? You two bringing her back in the cornstarch? Cause I don't see her here. And I can't find her there. I'm fucking stuck in the nowhere looking for her. And where is she? Why is she not here with me?
Not y'all splitting up the lesbians even in death. What the fuck? What a mess. What a mess. Okay. So we just got a lot of information there. Okay. So we now have confirmation from Claudia's ghost that she lied about what he said on the train. Now we have confirmation. So I will retract my thoughts about it. The train scene happened, but it didn't happen in the way that he said. And in fact, Claudia went back after the train But why? Why did it matter to her to go back to get Louis? She said she thought about, should I kill Louis? Should I kill Lestat? This is also vengeful ghost territory, so she might just be saying some shit because she's mad, but about being dead, which would be valid. But let's take her at her word. You know, like I said, we're gonna take her at her word. Why does she feel the need to go back? I feel like that speech didn't tell me why she felt the need to go back to get Louis. Maybe just to separate Louis from Lestat because she hated Lestat so much and hated Louis so much that she was just like, separate them. But either way, she did all of that and then obviously ultimately led to Lestat getting his throat slit. And then he, in his anger, went across the ocean and rehearsed all the play and did all of that. And ultimately, obviously it led to Claudia dying on stage and Madeline dying. And apparently wherever she is, Madeline isn't there. So she can't find Madeline. Where's Madeline after she died? Or is Madeline like a ghost wandering the earth? Well, that did not go the way that they thought. For sure. What a mess. What a fucking messy night. Oh my God. This is a crazy episode.
What about the thing you should thank me for?
Yeah.
Yeah, why did you
didn't
say
know
that,
was in me.
sir? Like, that was a crazy thing to say.
Got some work to do on myself.
It's not something one did in the late 18th century, work on the South.
Or the early 20th.
Yeah, we all, I
did
think,
one
need
do?
to go see a therapist.
Went to bed, got up, punched the wall.
Yeah. Let us all take a moment and get ourselves right. What a fucking crazy night.
Clearly, somewhere in the self-destructive
wanted to be
scaffolding,
found
I
out.
housed my heart in. I wanted it known.
Yeah.
Why I wanted it now.
I think
The
because you're
night
done.
before I go on stage.
I think you're trying to let go of a whole bunch of shit that you no longer want to carry anymore, including you don't want to do this back and forth bullshit with Gabby anymore. You're done with it. This is over. You're ready for this to be a new beginning, I think. I think he's ready for this to be a new beginning.
The hour before the witch arrives. I have some work to do on myself.
Yeah, I think we all do. Good Lord. Good Lord. What a fucking messy day.
The songs are about me.
Most of them.
Mm-mm.
Not both Louis and Lestat getting their heads chopped off. That's Alex, so that means that was just Daniel and Armand who just did that. That's crazy. Oh. Oh my God. Oh, that was an insane moment. Are we gonna cut the credits?
Listen to tracks from the Vampire
Lord.
Lestat wherever you stream music.
Wow. What a crazy sequence of events. This was an insane episode. What the hell happened in this episode? Okay, we've been priming the whole season for the idea that vampires of Lestat and Louis, well, mostly Lestat, but I guess Louis as well, since that's his fledgling, that they can survive without their heads for up to, it was a few hours. I think Farid said 2 or 3 hours that the one Class B vampire could do, and that vampires of Lestat's caliber could do 4 or 5 times that. So they can survive probably for another 10 hours without their heads, right? Is that how I'm understanding it? We just got to get their heads back on and give them a little blood. Sorry, did they chop off both Lestat and Louis' head during a moment of like quietude? And that's crazy. So, I mean, we're dead ass trying to stop this concert. Like, we are being very serious about how we do not want this concert to happen. We are just making up storylines because none of that shit happened in the fucking books. Not even marginally. Well, I actually think the stuff with Merrick and Claudia. Sorry, I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about the stuff with Armand and Daniel chopping off Lestat and Louis' heads. That's crazy. Why are we doing that? That didn't even happen in the past in the book. So what are we doing here? But we know at some point in the far future, they, Louis and Armand see each other at the auction and exchange a look, but it's not a look of, can't believe you chopped my head off that one time. What are we doing? What is Armand? I mean, obviously Armand's end goal is to stop the concert from happening, right? So what, I know that the concert happens anyway, like, unless they radically change the events of these books, the concert is going to happen. So how is it going to happen? Is Gabby going to rescue Lestat and Louis in order to make sure they go up on stage? Are they going to be convinced? Are we gonna, next week, are we going to have a conversation with Lestat and Louis' heads between them and Daniel and Armand? And are they going to convince Daniel and Armand to put them back on their own bodies so that they can still do the concert? What a weird storyline. I mean, I'm fine with it, I guess. I just don't know what the end goal here is. Other than stopping the concert. But I don't think that they're going to actually stop the concert. I think something is going to happen that still makes it happen. Daniel being so angry about getting fooled that I believe the whole revenge porn thing, because he's boosting the sales on his documentary, probably boosting the sales on his book. It's very self-serving in that way. He also gets to, reveal a juicy secret. So that I understand him being so angry that he, releases the documentary and exposes their sexual experience that he taped without them knowing. But so angry that he is willing to go along with Armand's plan of chopping off Louis and Lestat's head. But he also is now aware that that's not going to actually kill them. So is he doing this with I mean, does he care that much that they not die? I don't know. We'll have to see. Are we giving the Frank and Claudia plot to Lestat and Louis instead? Because we didn't do Frank and Claudia with Armand and Claudia. So instead we're doing it, and Madeline. So instead we're doing it with Lestat and Louis, where he Frankens them. Oh my God, and we still haven't seen the teaser. We remember the teaser before the season drops of Armand approaching somebody who's like watching him through a haze. That's probably either Louis or Lestat watching Armand approach them. Now we probably know that that's what they were doing. That he grabbed the machete. Remember the teaser where he had the machete and he was approaching somebody and somebody was heavy breathing and they were blurry eyes and everything like that. This is probably in the finale, and that's probably one of them with their heads chopped off, seeing Armand approach. What a fucking mess. Oh, I can't wait to get on the forums because I know it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot in these fucking, on Reddit and Twitter and whatnot. It's going to be hot. Oh, man. I can't wait. Okay, I didn't pause to write down a bunch of stuff because it's actually really, really late for me. So right now it's like 5 a.m. for me. It's actually really late. I'll pause and I'll write down some notes. I'll pause and write down some notes. Oh my goodness. It's actually really late for me. So I wrote down some notes, but it's so late for me, and I don't know how much time I'll have to go over these notes, but I'll try my best to cover everything. So I just wrote down some notes. I don't think this is going to be as long of a video as last one, which was like 6 hours, dead ass. But last episode also had so much lore with Akasha and everything like that. I just had to just deep dive into the lore. This episode was covered a bunch of stuff that I'd never read. So like I'd never read the Merrick book, and I knew the bare bones of that. So I never read the Merrick book. I didn't read Blackwood Farm. I didn't read any of that. I think that's what it's called, right? Hold on. I didn't look it up. Hold on. Okay. I did look it up. Yeah, it's called Blackwood Farm and Blood Canticle. Those are the two, and Merrick. Those are the 3 Mayfair crossover books, right? I didn't read any of those, so I don't actually have a lot of notes to talk about those because I don't know any of the lore in those, and I haven't finished the Mayfair Witches show. I'm only 3 episodes in, so I can't tell you anything about them other than I know who Cortland is. He mentioned Cortland in this episode, so I know who Cortland is because I met Cortland in the first 3 episodes of that. Again, I've never read any of the Mayfair books, so I don't know a goddamn thing about them. Other than Merrick is in the main series and Blackwoods. Okay. So let's talk. This was very much a Lestat episode. It was very, very intensely focused on their relationship with each other, their rekindling with each other and everything like that. And really kind of resetting themselves in their relationship with each other and their feelings about each other. And we have this kind of idealistic kind of view that they have not only of each other, but primarily about Claudia, which was immediately after they summon her spirit from wherever the hell she is, the ether. I don't know. Is she in hell? Do they have a hell in this? See, this is the thing. I know up to the Vampire Armand, this book was relatively, I don't want to say religious, but, there's inferences that there is a heaven and a hell kind of thing, right? But I do know that after this, I don't want to say retconned, but she pivoted. Anne Rice went through periods of being really religious and agnostic or atheistic, who knows. She goes through periods, and depending on which one she's sitting in, she will change her writing to support whatever you know, whatever she's in. So there's times when the books are really religious, and then there's times where the books are like, no, there is no heaven and hell. Actually, God is just a spirit, you know, that kind of thing. So, but I don't know what the show is implying. The show may be making a stance. I don't know if the show is ever going to get us to bird aliens, you know? Like, are we going to get bird aliens and whatnot in the show? I don't know if we are. So, assuming we don't know, where was Claudia after she died, and where is Madeline? Claudia and Madeline not even being able to be together in death is actually killing me. What are we doing to our lesbians? What are we doing to our sapphics, you guys? Why are they not together? Because I actually don't know if they're lesbian. I guess they both have had been with, not just been with men, but had some kind of emotional connection with men in the past as well. So they probably are bi for bi. But why are we separating them in death even? I had to sit here and endure fake Claudia and fake Madeline doing their weird fetishized kiss, and you're telling me they're not even together in death? We need to do another seance and bring back Madeline. But I guess we don't know. We don't have any things of Madeline to use to pull her spirit back. Goodness. Anyway. So we have this idealized, all season 1, season 2, season 3, we've been getting to know Claudia through her diaries, but also through Louis, and now in this season, Lestat. And it's very idealized. It's very, and it's, again, I have always maintained that it's not her reality. They are never saying or talking about her reality. And so we have this explosive scene of her spirit being brought back as, Louis and Lestat pull her out of her rest in order to have closure about her death themselves. And of course she's coming back spitting mad. She busted up Merrick's face. She's hella mad. And she's she's ready to tear into both of them. So the question, of course, I'm not saying that what she said is something that she didn't say or anything like that, but what I'm saying is how much of her anger is being influenced by the fact that she's dead. She's hella dead. Fascinating. And of course we get the whole reveal that she, for whatever reason, felt like she needed to come back to get Louis, and decided to spin this tale about Lestat. Well, see, this is the thing. Why did we? Because even in this episode, we didn't go, "Oh, Lestat threatened me with rape." It was like, because that didn't happen in the episode either. What Claudia is saying happened in the episode is that she said exactly what we saw in season 1, that Lestat got on the train, killed a bunch of people, and then threatened to do even worse to her than rape, right? Like that was a whole thing. And then we had the book release, and for whatever reason, Lestat was like, did I threaten Claudia with rape and shame? But it was like, that's not what Claudia said, and clearly that's not what Claudia... So was that changed in the book? Interesting. So, but yeah, so I'm like, what happened in the book? Did the Talamasca change the book, or did Daniel? Or are we interpreting it when we read it a different way? when Lestat read it, did he interpret the, like, hey, you threatened to do worse than rape to me, and then he interpreted that himself into you threatened her with rape on the train? Like, why did it become that? It feels like a terrible game of telephone, like where Claudia creates this scenario that will convince Louis to help her kill Lestat. Why? I don't know. Like, I know why she wanted to kill Lestat, because again, everything that happened up to that point is real. Definitely happened. Because we literally saw him remembering it. But then, why did she come back? Again, it's not like with Claudia from the books, who was stuck in a 5-year-old body, where she needed a companion to travel with her. She couldn't leave on her own. And so she was trying to decide between Lestat, clearly trying to decide between Lestat and Louis. And she picked Louis would be the one that could travel with her because he is the one that she felt like she could control better. Clearly that's similar to this, but like the problem I am having is that I don't think that she needed anybody to travel this world, because her body was 14, but it's not so young that it literally would be impossible for her to travel safely in this world and be able to travel on her own in this world without being picked up constantly by like cops or like trying to take this little girl home or creeps or whatever. Like, I just don't buy that Claudia needed Louis. So I'm struggling with that part. But if we go with she just did this out of malicious intent and she was just mad at Lestat and, you know, wanted to separate Lestat and Louis from each other. But she wasn't, because in this episode, she literally said, I was thinking about whether or not to go with you or him. That actually I liked him more. So why did she come back? When she could have just left both of them behind. Like, if she hated them both enough to do all of this, why not just leave them behind? I don't know. I'm still struggling with that part. And I don't think we're going to circle back around to that. I think we have closed the book on the events of the first 2 seasons and who did what and who said what and yada, yada, yada. I don't think we're going to circle back into why Claudia would go back for Louis or Lestat at all. But either way, interesting. So she did all of that, regardless of everything, regardless of why she did it. She went back with the intent to separate them, to take one of them with her on her travels around Europe, and to kill the other one. And so she chose to kill Lestat and travel with Louis. But of course, Louis didn't kill Lestat. He refused to allow that, and he stopped them from burning him. So she went through Europe resenting him, etc. But all the other events still happen. So what the show is telling me now, at least as far, unless we get something revealed next episode, which we might still get more revealed about the trial next episode. But unless the show reveals next episode, then I have to take Ghost Claudia's word for it here, that after all of that, Lestat, in his vengeance, really did get on a boat and travel across the ocean to kill Claudia as well. And did really rehearse those plays. So what the hell was that insert in season 2 when Armand's lies were exposed, and then we had the whole like, oh no, actually, and then Lestat was like, you have no idea of Claudia's strength, and then he throws the he throws the play at Armand, because that definitely happened, because we literally see Lestat flashing back to that earlier this season when, you know, they confronted him in the hallway and they had the Armand told the truth on the wrist or whatever, right? He had a flashback of that moment of him throwing the play papers at Armand right after he says, "You have no idea of Claudia's strength." This is post throat slitting, so he was like, "Damn, she did her big one with that." So is that what happened? So did he go there? Like, okay, so order of operations. Let's always remember order of operations, right? Everything that happens in Storyville happens. Louis finds Claudia, changes her into a vampire. We have everything that happened in season 1 pretty much happens the same. Pretty much all of that happens the same. You know, yada yada yada. When she was young, she was their daughter. Blah blah blah. And then we get to the end of the season, and you know, Lestat flips out on Louis. Well, no, Lestat flips out on Claudia when Claudia comes back to pick up Louis again, trying to go off with one of them. And then he attacks Claudia. Then Louis attacks Lestat, and then Lestat beats the shit out of him, because we've had confirmation in this season that definitely happened. Like, even just last episode, we literally saw the moment when he was dragging him across the cobblestones, which was fucking crazy. That was like one of the worst parts of that fight before the fall, before the drop or whatever. That was one of the worst parts of that fight, was that he put his fingers in his fucking throat and dragged him across the cobblestones. That was awful. So, but anyway, so all that still happened. You know, he put his hands on Claudia, and then Louis jumped Lestat, and then Lestat beat the ever-living shit out of him. I mean, I guess they beat each other up, and then he beat the ever-living shit out of him and started dragging him across the cobblestones. He non-consensually bit him and drained him, and then flew up into the sky and dropped him. All of that happened. Then, after that, Claudia nursed Louis back to health. Again, always planning on taking Louis, because I guess at that point she had decided Louis is the one I want to take with me. Or maybe not, actually. She probably was just like, oh, now that Lestat is out of here, because, you know, she's always like, why do you keep going back to him, right? So, because she was planning on like, no, you're out of our lives, you know, yada yada yada. And then of course Louis was like, no, well, you know, and basically forgave him after like what, 3 years or something? I can't remember how many years it was. It was like 3 years. And then he sends him the record, and then he goes over, and then they have like, you know, really angry, passionate hate sex or whatever. And then after that, they get back together, which of course Claudia resented. And so she comes up with this plan in that moment, probably, for the train, everything. So she tries to leave on the train. Then either, like, I guess we still don't know. Are we saying that the whole train scene didn't happen? Are we saying that the conversation on the train scene was different and didn't happen? What are we saying, actually? Or was that the plan all along? Was for Claudia, like, he yet again, Louis forgave Lestat, brought him back into their lives instead of completely being broken up with him and going off with Claudia. Instead, Louis brought him back in, and so she concocted this plan to say, oh, he threatened me on the train, etc. Even worse than rape on the train. and this is why we have to kill him, right? Or else we're never going to be able to get away from him. And so, which, quite frankly, probably a bit true. Maybe not a bit true, but like it was true in the sense that Louis and Lestat are never going to be able to get away from each other. Honestly, again, why does she just not leave them both to rot in New Orleans and just go off on her own? Like, again, I think this story doesn't quite work for me because Claudia is 14. This is where you get into the adaptation has made a change that makes this a little less believable. Why does she not just leave them both behind? Like but the problem is that she can't make another vampire either. So if she wants to travel with another vampire, she's either has to find one, and then she tries to, and she finds Bruce, and he's fucking horrible, right? And he assaults her. So then now all she knows is these 3 vampires, right? Like, and so she goes back home and she's like, which one do I gotta keep? I can't find another vampire out there because they're fucking awful. And so she's got to pick between these 2. Because again, she can't make another vampire. And she was looking for a community, to be fair. She was looking for a community. So both... And if she is going to have somebody and find... Maybe the plan was always find somebody that I click with. Or if I can't do that, find somebody I click with that can be made into a vampire. And then I have my ready-made, person here who can make a vampire, And so, of course, yada, yada, yada. She picks Louis. They go off to Europe. But then they meet up with a whole bunch of other vampires, and they seem like her vibe at the beginning, like, really violent and disdainful of humanity. And, she went to that first play and saw them killing a woman on stage, and she was super into it. And she was like, oh wait, maybe I can join them and find community and find somebody I vibe with and find a companion there. But of course we all know how it went at the theater. And then after that, she meets Madeline and she finds her companion, in Madeline. And now she's got to figure out a way to get her to be a vampire. So she doesn't want it to be Lestat. I think all of that obviously happened. She doesn't want it to be Lestat. So she chooses Armand. Armand is like, fuck no. I don't make vampires. And I don't even like you. Armand didn't really like Claudia for a variety of reasons. So no, he's not going to fucking make a vampire. He's not going to tie himself for eternity to some random stranger. Like, for a woman that he doesn't even like. Because Claudia's, 40, 50 years old or whatever by the time they get to Paris. For some woman he doesn't even like. Just because he's dating her dad / brother? Well, no, actually, interesting. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, he's not making that vampire. So then Louis has to make her. So he does. And now they're traveling. Where the hell is Madeline's spirit? Are we implying that Claudia went to hell and Madeline went to heaven? Or are we implying that there's a nothingness and you just can't find people in the nothingness after you die? Because remember, we early in the season was like, oh, in death there's nothing. That's what Lestat fears, that there's nothingness, right, after you die, even as a vampire. He doesn't fear that there's hell. He fears that there's nothing. So are we saying, but clearly there's not nothing in this world, because otherwise Lestat and Louis would not have been able to summon Claudia's spirit. She's somewhere. She was somewhere. She's somewhere out there. When you die, there's somewhere out there. Interesting. Interesting to think about. What happens after you die? And now we know that there's something out there. Your spirit goes somewhere and is housed somewhere. And you can be called back. Yeah, where the hell is Madeline then? If she's not in the nothingness, or is she in heaven? Is she wandering the earth? Are we going to circle back? I guess that's a question. Do we think we are going to see Ghost Claudia again? Will we circle back around to Ghost Claudia? Will we circle back around to Ghost Madeline? Or will we never see Claudia ever again? Shutting the book. I mean, she did tell them, hey, burn all of my stuff. Don't ever call me back ever again. Which, fair enough. I don't know. I think maybe we are not going to see them ever again. I think we have closed the book on that. It feels like it. It feels like we've closed the book on Claudia, for the most part. I guess next episode we could get a revisit of the trial, because I feel like that's the last thing that we have to revisit, really, truly. I don't know how much I want to talk about Merrick and the witches and stuff like that. Like, I mean, obviously I know who Merrick is and I know about witches. And so this is our first time seeing witches in the main series. Okay. Let's talk about, before we move on to Gabby and Alex and Lestat and that whole fucking travesty. Let's talk about it, because that actually leads into this next thing that I wanted to talk about. Okay. So we have the practice with the concert and everything like that. And then we have this song, Brutal Love, which clearly is about Louis, but Gabby sitting there for a hot second thinking it's about her. No, baby, it's not about you. It's about Louis. And then, of course, she realizes that, oh, shit, this is actually about Louis. And she's hella jealous. And she's trying to warn him away from the concert by like, oh, no, I'm doing this for your safety. And you could see that Louis was clocking her like, no, you're not. What? He could feel the negative vibes rolling off of her, right? And then, of course, we get Daniel. Before we get into the Daniel of it all, we have the scene of the restaurant, which, you know, they teed up earlier in the season of Louis talking about these different businesses that he owns, where you can go there and basically the farm and drink blood and be a vampire, yada yada yada. And so we now see it. And he found a descendant of the Lioncourt line so that he can offer Lestat the blood of one of his distant relatives. Weird. That's a weird thing to do. This was before any of the old incest stuff. It's a weird thing to do, especially now that we now know in season 3 that blood exchange is considered to be the pinnacle of vampiric desire. It's better than sex. It's more desirable to sex, especially for Lestat. So what is that weirdness? Why would we do that? Why would we do an amuse-bouche? Here's an amuse-bouche of your second cousin 3 times removed, Lestat. What? Weird. Let's all drink your cousin, Lestat. Clink. Like, what? What was Louis thinking there? Weird. Anyway, okay. Very Anne Rice, though. Don't get me wrong. Very gothic horror Anne Rice kind of, decision to do that. Okay, so now let's talk about Gabby. Gabby and Alex. So Gabby made Alex interesting. Gabby made Alex into a vampire. So I think that I'm correct. I think each one of the vampires there made one of the band members. Gabby made Alex. Lestat obviously made TC. We got that foreshadowed. So I guess Sam made Salamander into a vampire. That's who's left. And now Sam is in the band, I guess. You know, yeah. We're not killing Sam, I guess. We're certainly not going to be killing Sam after this episode, because apparently all that crazy shit with Claudia happened, so I don't know how much revenge they're going to want after that experience. How do we feel about it? I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about it later. Okay. So, we have the band. They're doing the practice. They have the song. Yada, yada, yada. We have Louis and Gabby meeting each other. Very catty vibes coming off of Gabby, of course, because she's hella jealous. They're trying to rekindle and get back to, you know, who they could be. Louis finally sleeping in the guest room that Lestat mentioned at the beginning of the season, of course. And then we get the dinner with Daniel. He has like, oh, I need to finish up my documentary. Can you give me, let me know about when you two met during the hurricane. What did you say to each other? And of course, they're being cagey. They're not telling him shit, obviously. And then he's pissed about about finding out that Louis knew this whole time that Armand was stalking him for like 50 years. Deadass walked into Dubai with Louis knowing that whole shit. So he's mad about that. And he's like, oh, hey, the fog of love, you didn't read my mind either? And, oh, I was trying to respect you, Louis. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe that. So now I'm inclined to truly believe Armand when he said, yo, no, Louis knew the whole fucking time. The whole vibes in that restaurant made me think, oh yeah, Louis knew that whole time. And he definitely is on some bullshit, like I would never read your mind, when we literally watch him read his mind all throughout season 1 and season 2. He was reading his mind all up and down season 1 and season 2. So no, I don't believe you actually that you were trying to respect his privacy or whatever the hell. But why didn't you read his mind and know about the Talamasca? Because I actually do genuinely think that he didn't know about the Talamasca. What are we doing? Because that was a plot hole of season 1 and season 2, is why is it that these two vamps did not read this man's mind? And now we know that definitely we know why Armand didn't read Daniel's mind. Well, actually, no, I don't know. Have I talked about this on camera before? I have actually posited. I know that when Armand came to him 2 episodes ago, he was like, was Dubai bullshit? You knew the whole time, yada yada yada. And Armand said no, it was love. I believe him 100% there, actually. But why was it love? And what about love prevented it? Was he distracted? Was he, was he not really thinking about it? Or this is what I believe. I believe that it was love. It was out of love that he was not reading his mind. But I also think that the way that love was being expressed was because he had after 50 years of stalking him and maybe even a whole full-blown relationship, he had messed with Daniel's mind and erased the memories and stuff like that, and had blocks in there. And he also had the blocks from Divisadero from San Francisco, right? And I think that he knew that the moment that he started reading his mind, that everything was going to fall away, that his memory was going to come back. So I actually think that the love that he was expressing was about trying to preserve and maintain the life that he lived and not starting back up with him again. And that is why he wasn't reading his mind. Because if you will recall in season 2, the moment that they started reading his mind to read about Alice, that is when he started having memories of Armand and Divisadero, right? That was the moment. So I think that reading his mind, actually, it was Armand who did it. Remember, Louis was reading his mind all through episode 1. Well, not just episode 1, all through season 1, really. He read his mind multiple times through season 1, and it didn't disrupt the memory patch that Armand did. But it was when Armand looked at his memory and was like, oh, this is about Alice, not Claudia. That is when I think the mind patches that Armand did started to break. And I think Armand knew that immediately and was like, oh shit, I gotta stop reading his mind. And then after that, I think Armand was not reading his mind because he was trying really hard to prevent Daniel's memory from coming back. And then the rest of it was Louis occasionally reading Daniel's mind. And then, of course, all the memories came back in episode 5. Well, all the memories that we know of so far came back. I still think that there's more to it, to those 52 years, but, you know, if the 52 years is just purely stalking, fine. But I truly do think that there's more that happened in those 52 years. But anyway, so that all happened. And then we get to, and then we get to present day, and all of his memories, or most of his memories, have come back. And now we have this scene of like, hey, was that a lie? Was that bullshit? No, it was love. And I think that was how the love was being expressed, was that I was trying to make sure you maintain your human life and didn't get flooded with all these memories of when I tortured you and held you captive and stalked you for 50 years and possibly had a secret relationship with you that I then immediately erased out of your brain. So, interesting. But either way, Daniel was hot off of that. He was hot about it. So he decided to do revenge porn against Lestat and break up Lestat and Louis. Oof. Or at least disrupt it. And that, Armand is fine with that because he will do anything to achieve his goals. There is not a single thing that Armand won't do to achieve his goal. And his goal right now, unless they reveal something else in episode 7, his goal right now is to stop this motherfucking concert. And he is going to stop it, no matter what. Even if it means chopping off their heads. Let's talk about that. Like I mentioned it earlier. Oh my God. So he's Franken Claudia. Instead of Franken Claudia from the Vampire Armand, he instead is going to Franken Lestat and Franken Louis. Is he going to do like the full on? Are we just getting him chopping their heads off? Or are we going to get full on him trying to swap their bodies in some kind of mad scientist experiment? Because we all got to remember that Armand is a mad scientist. Are we going to get Reid in on the action? Because Reid was talking about beheadings earlier, too. Are we going to get Reid coming in like, yeah, like, I'll help you, mad scientist Armand? Because we got to remember, Reid knows both Armand and Louis. He worked for both of them, actually. Not just Louis. So are we going to find out that this whole time Reid has been an op? Has been aligned with Armand too, because we have been watching Armand slowly gather thralls and cohorts, and now here we have him slowly. We have possibly even Dr. Reid being in on it. Brother, are we going to go into this next episode and we're going to find out that Dr. Reid was in on this and that they took him to this little dungeon or wherever the hell they're taking him, taking the two of them, and Dr. Reid's going to be there and is going to probably help Armand sew their heads back on and, you know, restore them with blood. I say this, you guys. I maintain that Armand has absolutely no intention of killing Lestat and Louis. He might be mad, you know, and he might be messing with them, but he's not going to be killing permanently. He's not trying to kill Lestat and Louis. He just wants to prevent the concert. And the concert of 50,000 vampires all in one place. That's a crazy amount of vampires, by the way. Let us count the numbers, because in season 2, when Raglan James confronted or met up with Daniel and was like, oh, the numbers, it was last month, it was 900. And now it's 19. What did he say? I have to rewatch those scenes. 1 second. Okay. Okay, I just looked that up. So they went from, that was in season 2, episode 3, I believe, the beginning of episode 3 of season 2. So they went from 900 to 1600 in a month in that episode. So now they have about 50,000 vampires after 3 years of conversion, right? 50,000 is a lot of vampires. I mean, if they kept that growth rate of 900 to 1600, they should have more, but I guess there's fluctuations, right? But still, 50,000 is a lot of vampires. And now they're all about to be in one place. Fish in the barrel for Akasha, if we're keeping with her book storyline. Okay, interesting. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. So Daniel was hot, so he decided to throw in his lot with Armand. Armand is teaching him to walk in the sun and is like, yeah, giving him information for his book, or not his book, but his documentary. I guess now wants to be his maker, is present in his life and everything like that. And so he decides to go ahead and help him chop off these heads. Like I said, I definitely do not believe that Armand is intending on killing Lestat and Louis. They've been very careful this whole... But first of all, I don't believe that Armand wants to kill Lestat and Louis. He just wants to stop the concert. He's going to do it in the most insane way possible. But I don't think his ultimate goal is for them to be dead. Again, he has... it's my personal belief that he has made a decision that there are a handful of people that he wants to be in community with, and wants to be in this garden with. And Lestat and Louis are both on the list of people he wants to live in the garden with, right? Regardless of everything. So he has a plan to chop their heads off, disable them, find a way to keep them alive, I guess, until the concert is done. Because we have to remember, we are D-Day. It's D-Day for this concert. So if he chops their head off and then keeps them until after the concert is done, then he can't give the concert. Then he can put his head back on, put their heads back on, and everything's fine. This is Armand's thinking. I know this is Armand's thinking. I know in my heart of hearts, this is how Armand is thinking. He's like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll put your heads back on. I'll dip you in a big old vat of blood. You'll be okay. He's so insane. It's crazy, but I feel like that is Armand's plan. Absolutely, categorically insane. But I truly believe that's Armand's plan. I'm ready to be surprised by next episode if that's not his plan. If he truly wants... No, if he truly wanted them dead, he would just set them on fire. He would set their bodies on fire after this. So, no, he doesn't want them dead. But he gonna be a little mad scientist about it. I support his wrongs just as much as I support his rights. Let's talk about wrongs. Daniel with this revenge porn. I know that was Daniel. That was Daniel. I'm not saying that Armand didn't give him the juice for this, because he's the one that told him about Gabriella. And obviously Armand is participating in this revenge porn. But I know the idea for it was all Daniel. Come on, man. We've been priming ourselves for that anyway by having a continuous discussion about Daniel's past sexual assaults, which, yeah. Of course, the guy who has raped 2 people is going to be completely fine with Revengeborn. Yes, this is not shocking to me, actually. That was such an awful scene. Again, revenge porn is something that I feel very strongly about. And I talked about how I watched She-Hulk and how there was a whole revenge porn thing in She-Hulk. And once I get around to editing the She-Hulk episodes, I will put them up, I guess, on my Patreon. And you will see how I reacted in those. But because I taped those reactions like 3 years ago, a long time ago, when I was first starting my channel, which was a long time ago. I pre-recorded a whole bunch of videos, including a number of Marvel things. I lost a bunch of those early Marvel reactions, so I have a bunch of stuff that I can cobble together. But I believe I have all of the She-Hulk episodes. So I'll eventually at some point put them up. But there was a whole storyline in there with the revenge porn, and I was so upset, and I'm upset here too. That was so awful. And then the way Lestat was panicking and just awful. And then he started throwing up because it's such an awful thing to experience. And he didn't want Louis to know about it, obviously, because he's being essentially continuously for centuries molested by his mom. And he's trying to frame it in a different way. He's been trying to frame it in a different way the whole season. And he's been trying to hide it. And he's been like, oh, this is Sophia. He's been trying to keep it a secret because he feels ashamed of it, even though it's not his fault. That was just such an awful scene. But it was very well acted by everyone involved. I got to tell you, that was an incredible scene. And it was awful to watch. Honestly, I actually do consider that worse than a decapitation. I don't believe that Armand wants to kill Louis or Lestat with that decapitation, but I fully believe that Daniel would not only use this as part of his revenge porn, but completely relished in that, in a very different way that feels really personal and malicious. I think also, okay, how do I explain it? Getting your head chopped off and then getting Frankenstein or whatever the hell Armand's about to do to them next episode before he inevitably puts their heads back on. That is so out of the realm of possibility of, nothing that you just, it's so fantastical that I don't want to say I'm not emotionally invested, but it's so fantastical that it just feels like, a fantastical horror moment, right? But revenge porn is a real thing that real people do in real life. That's a real thing. And that is upsetting to me in a way that them chopping off their heads just isn't, right? It's just, that's so fantastical. I'm not saying that people in real life don't get their heads chopped off. Obviously, I know that people in history and even probably somewhere out in the world right now have gotten their heads chopped off. Obviously, I know that. But you're not going to survive that. Nobody's going to survive that. That happens, that person is dead, and it's upsetting and sad in real life. But in this show, we know that they're not going to die from that. They're going to come back. So I'm not that, afraid of that. Or, I'm not emotionally, feeling emotionally connected to that because it's clear that that's going to be reversed at some point. But the revenge porn stuff was so awful. And that was such an awful thing to have happen. And gross. And I know that was Daniel. I know in my heart of hearts that Daniel decided to do that and was like, Armand, you're just going to be in this video and you're going to say all this. And Armand was like, all right, bet. I mean, again, like I said, he will do whatever for whatever plan he has. If it disrupts Lestat's concert, then he's gonna do it, right? That was so awful, and the reaction from Lestat was very intense. And then Louis had a very bad reaction to finding out this information, which, hey, you're gonna have sometimes some people just have bad reactions to really shocking and awful news like that. saying you're just like, this is some Armand level shit. That was a crazy thing to say, Louis. I'm sorry. This is not comparable. Him hiding the fact that he's being molested by his mom and that his mom is a vampire and still alive, and lying about that for a century is not the same as Armand lying about the fact that he orchestrated the death, your daughter's murder and lynching. Those are not the same levels. Woo, but he was very upset, and Lestat definitely called him out on, like, what the fuck? How can you say that to me after I just helped you after all of this shit that you was doing with Regina? Like, and that's totally fair. That was a totally fair thing for Lestat to say. Like, totally fair. Just an awful moment. But again, incredibly acted by Sam and Jacob. This is a really strong episode for Sam and Jacob and their relationship with each other, their chemistry with each other as actors. Just really, really effective scenes. And then, of course, it culminates in them meeting Ghost Claudia, and then getting read the riot act by her. She said, "I was playing both of y'all. I actually hate both of y'all. Stop fucking calling me from beyond the grave. Like, burn my shit." Also, totally valid. Again, so upsetting to have these guys completely, constantly violating her privacy with her diaries. Stop reading her diaries. Burn every single one of her diaries. I mean, there's not much you can do because half her diaries are now in the book, so it's all over the place. We're not going around to every copy of the book and burning them. Obviously, that's not their fault because they didn't release her diaries in a book. That was Daniel again. Not surprising, Daniel's asshole self doing this. But anyway, so we can't burn her diaries. I mean, we can burn her diaries, but we can't prevent her thoughts from being out there because it was shared with Daniel, and Daniel put it all in the books, and then the Talamasca published the book, and it's a bestseller, 40 million copies, or whatever the hell, however many he said he made. That was whenever that was in season 2, so who knows how much of it is, how much he sold now. That shit is worldwide. Everybody has read that. There's no putting that back in the bottle. We're not taking all of her words, all of her diaries, all of her experiences out there in the world now. She has no rest and no peace, you know? But totally valid. Like, yeah, I'm not going to thank you for taking my diaries and then reading them to the guy who raped me. I don't like him and I don't like you. I actually hate both of you. Yes, I indeed want two men that I hate to be reading my diary and my words about my experiences with these people that I hate. Like, valid. Valid, Ghost Claudia. Because what? Yeah, just over and over and over again, Claudia being, like, her agency just being violated over and over and over again. Yeah, of course she culminated in this, you know, wild scene of her as a ghost. And this is the first time we are seeing Claudia. Making her, see, if I remember correctly, this is, again, I have not read Merrick, so I don't know the events of Merrick. But I believe there was some question about whether or not the Claudia ghost in Merrick was actually Claudia or some other spirit, right? But in the show, we're not doing that. In the show, that's Claudia. That appears to just be straight up Claudia's ghost, which means that this episode is the first and only time we have seen Claudia at all. Got authentic Claudia. She got to say her piece and say what she wanted to say and actually have a moment of genuine, like, agency. And we got to actually see Claudia for the first time. Every other time we've seen Claudia, she has been told through somebody else's story, right? And depicted through somebody else's bias. So I do think that that's interesting. That the only time we get to actually see Claudia is after she's dead, when she's a ghost. Interesting. Okay, I've talked about that. I've talked about Alex and Gabby, the concert. Where's Dr. Reid? We're only 2.5 hours in. Again, I don't know if I have too much to say. I feel like I had so much to say in the last episode because we had so much lore. And here in this episode, we have not really a lot of lore, but just very much a lead up to whatever the hell is going to happen at this concert. Whatever the hell Armand's got cooking with Daniel and Alex, because Alex is in on it too. Alex, who probably has a lot of resentment towards Lestat because Sophia is obviously paying him attention, whereas his mind is fucked up anyway because Armand's been, with his mind. Terrible. Armand. And then, we breezed by Larry's suicide. Is that going to be a thing again? Or was that just, hey, I'm just trying to disrupt Lestat, break up the band. So first one was to say, hey, let's make Larry kill himself. And then maybe that'll make the band break up, but that doesn't work. And everybody's like, mysterious suicide. So are we going to get next episode Armand going, I'm the one that killed Larry, ha ha ha. And then are we going to get Alex reacting to that? Is that going to be the thing that finally breaks Armand's control over Alex? Is that finding out that Armand is the one that made Larry jump in front of the train? Is that going to break Alex out of his control? Maybe. Or because we now know intense emotions can do that. Sorry, I just got like a text. 1 second. Okay, sorry. So is that what's going to make Alex break out of Armand's control, is finding out about his brother's suicide, that it wasn't a suicide, that it was actually Armand murdering him for the purpose of stopping the band from recording this album? And it was a failed attempt, so... Or are we going to find out that there's actually more to why Armand had Larry jump in front of a train? Surely that was the reason. But then we breezed past... I don't know, it was such a moment in the last episode. Like the ender, the capper to the last episode. It was such a moment, capital M. Of like, ooh, he jumped in front of the plane. It's not plane, train. And then we zoom in on Armand sitting there looking cunty as hell as he looks into the camera. And there's his evil music is playing over top of it. It was such a moment for it to be something in the next episode we just breeze by. Like, why do we waste our time with Larry's character at all? If seemingly nobody gave a shit about Larry committing suicide, except that, people felt... We got an aside. People felt sad about it, aside from Lestat in the opening of this episode. It has to be... For that to be such a moment, I think... Either there's more to it that Armand was planning with Larry, or we're going to find out that he did that. It didn't work. He was trying something. He's going to try and break up the band with that, but it didn't work. They still finished the album. They still released the album. They're still planning on doing the concert. And so he went to plan B, which is convince Daniel to help him, and Alex to help him with this plan to lure Lestat and Louis out. And then while they're distracted, chop off their heads. But how do I explain this? What was the plan? Actually, now I'm thinking about it. What was the plan? How did they know that Lestat and Louis were going to walk to this bench and sit down and be primed, perfectly placed to be in a situation where they can chop their heads off? Because the whole episode, Alex has been watching Lestat, obviously for Armand. He's been the spy the whole time. So was it just that Alex was following them and was waiting for an opportune moment when they would be alone and he could tell Armand where they were and what they were doing. And he was just relaying that information to Armand. Oh, they're here. Oh no, this is a good place to chop their heads off once they got to the park bench. And was he telling him, so were we planning on doing this without Louis, but then Louis was there? So it's like, all right, we got to chop both their heads off. But I feel like we'd have to prep Daniel. Like, Daniel also was really mad about both of them now. So it's not like you had to prep him too hard to be like, but like, again, I still feel like, I lied to you for 50 years and I might have invaded your mind a couple times. I played you for a fool. He doesn't like being played for a fool, which is, hey, that's in keeping, because that was the whole reason that he exposed Armand in the first place, because he felt like he was being played for a fool, because season 1 happened and Armand was lying about being Reid, and then he reveals himself at the end of it, and season 2 happened and Daniel was incensed because Armand had faked him all that whole season 1, and he was mad about it, and he had played him for a fool, and because he was mad about it, that's how he was going so hard on Armand. And then he found out he played him for a fool twice because he erased his memory of shit that happened in San Francisco. So he was like, oh no, I'm exposing your ass. And that's why we got to the end of the season and he exposed Armand. It was not about helping Louis. It was about exposing Armand. I've always maintained that it was not about helping Louis or saving Louis. It was purely about taking down Armand because he was mad about being played for a fool. So then we get into season 3 and he gets played for a fool again by Lestat. So he's mad about that. And then he got played for a fool by Louis. So he's mad about that. So he's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and chop the heads off. Or do we think that he talked with, like, he knows that it's not going to kill them because he's talked to Doc Farid. Doc Farid specifically said to Daniel, like, how vampires of Lestat and Louis' pedigree, shall we say, their bloodline would not be killed by a head chop. So is he doing this because he's angry, but he knows that it's not going to actually kill them? I know that Armand knows that it's not going to actually kill them. And I know that Armand has no intention of actually killing Lestat and Louis. But does Daniel understand that? And is Daniel okay with killing both of them? Hard to say. But Alex, I think, is okay with it because he's resentful. He's under Armand's mind control, first of all. And he also is resentful against Lestat and jealous about Lestat's relationship with Gabby. But now, all of that is exposed. So why? Well, Alex is under his mind control. But I truly think that he's going to find out that Larry jumped in front of a train, and that Armand did it, and that's going to make him break his control, flip out. But what is he going to do after that? Because, I mean, he's not killing Armand, so we're not killing Armand. But we have been hinting the whole season that Daniel's going to die. Is he going to kill Daniel? There's no way Daniel stays permanently dead. He might try to kill Daniel. Or maybe he's going to find out the truth and he is going to help Lestat and Louis reattach their heads and escape. Maybe. I can see that. Instead of Armand being convinced to reattach their heads because he's very dogged. So I can see Armand not being convinced and getting distracted or something maybe. And then after he finds out the truth about Larry, the only thing he can do is help Lestat and Louis escape. Maybe I can see that actually. All right. We are almost 3 hours in. I don't know if I have too much else to say. Oh, I can't wait to go online and see all the discourse. This was a crazy episode. A lot happened. It was very frenzied. It was a good episode. I mean, anytime you have Lestat and Louis, Sam, Reid, and Jacob in a room together, it's going to be, you know, electric, right? They work really well together. They're great together. I love this cast. I think this cast is really great. I love this cast. Like, Jacob, Sam, Delaney, Assad, like, Eric, I love all of them. They're so good. It's when you refocus on our main characters that this series pops. Ugh. Let go of these side characters. I actually don't care about them. Like, dead ass. I don't care about them. Dead ass. Obviously, I just went through this whole thing about what is Alex going to do? What's Alex going to do? Like, obviously. But what I'm saying is that when we refocus on our core characters, it's electric every time. It's electric. Let's refocus. Let's give them the attention they deserve, you know? All right. It's really late for me, so I'm going to wrap this up. You guys aren't getting a 5-hour video this time. Or a 6-hour video. You're going to get a short 3-hour video. Almost 3 hours. You're going to get a 3-hour video. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Go on over to Patreon if you're interested in full length or early access to this show, as well as other shows on my channel. I don't know what the hell we're going into the finale, so I don't know what the hell I'm going to replace this show with, because I haven't finished the Mayfair Witches, and you guys aren't interested in that. I know you guys aren't interested in that. So, nobody who watches Interview with the Vampire is interested in Mayfair Witches. So I'll figure out something. I don't know. Should I stick in the horror genre? I was looking at Severance, maybe watching Severance, or maybe watching Pluribus, if we're going to keep in the prestige, U.S. prestige television wheelhouse. I was thinking about those. I was thinking about Killing Eve as well, even though I know the ending. I have been spoiled on the ending of Killing Eve. I haven't actually watched all of Killing Eve. I want to say when it first started airing, I watched the first couple of episodes, but I haven't seen any episodes other than that. But I am spoiled about the relationship, and I'm spoiled about the ending, so I don't know how much fun it would be for you guys to watch me watch that. But I don't know. Maybe I'll pick another horror thing. I'm still in a supernatural fantasy mood. This is why I'm leaning a little bit more to, I don't know. Well, see, I don't know what Pluribus is about, but I know that Severance is a little bit more speculative fiction, sci-fi-ish. Ooh, maybe I should do Foundation. I haven't watched Foundation. I heard that they are releasing a new season of Foundation. Should I watch Foundation, maybe? I don't know. Is anything gonna make me feel like Armand, Lestat, Louis, Daniel make me feel? Claudia make me feel? I don't think anybody's gonna make me feel like these guys. Is anybody gonna be gay enough? I know Pluribus is gay, is lesbian. The main character is a lesbian, but it's not about her. I don't think it's about her being a lesbian. So I don't know how much we're gonna discuss her lesbianism. I don't know. What do I replace this show with? What show is going to capture me to the same level? I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. If you guys have suggestions, put them down there in the comments and let me know what I should watch after Vampire Lestat, as we wait for the next season, whenever that drops. Most likely in 2 years. In 2 years when we get the next season. Good Lord. Yeah. All right, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Baby, it's whatever. All this ever but you long.